Good evening, everybody. Welcome to V Speed. I'm Eddie Smith for the OB Builders Cup Series. This is the Ram 300 at Bristol Motor Speedway. Well, if you're looking for a good time, you're looking for some of the best racing in the world. What happens here at the world's fastest half mile? Here on the iRacing, we can talk about how boring the race was in real life. You can say what you want about that, but here tonight it's not going to be boring at all. This track puts on a great show, a lot of ability to pass, run all three lines, and I think we're going to see a fantastic race if we can stay green. Of course, that's always the big kicker. As we take a look at our schedule here, you'll see we are almost to the end of this one. This is the round of 12 cutoff race, and what a place to do it at Bristol. And all the cutoff races are pretty interesting. You got the Roval in the round of 12, and then the round of 8, you got Martinsville, which is just crazy. But we're cutting them down from 16 to 12 here tonight. And here, let's take a look at the standings, where everybody's at. And I'm going to tell you right now, number 7th place there, Hunter Carmichael. Heartbreak that he didn't get the win. Really frustrated, but look at what it did for his points standings. Pushed him up 13 above the cutoff. Not safe at all, but still in a much better position than he was before. Shane Davis, Jeffrey Taylor, Aaron Matthews, Blaine Wilson on the outside looking in. They've got to have good races tonight, but those right above the cutoff line, we got we do have 31 drivers here, it looks like, tonight. So you're not safe unless you're Alex Coffey, Brandon Bikey, Jordan Schmeets, and Randy Mullins. I don't think you're safe, and I think that even with the stage points that are available, Alex Coffey probably not completely safe. He can't afford to go out early. So a lot can happen in this race. Bristol it's just made for action. It's going to be a blast. So we'll pay attention to those drivers as it plays out. But stage point is going to be a huge swing if you can get up there and get some of those in these stages. Take a look at the racetrack, Bristol Motor Speedway in Bristol, Tennessee. World's fastest half mile. Some people say a shadow of its former self. However, 120,000 people showed up to watch a race last night. That's pretty incredible by today's standards. And tonight, the racing is going to be just as good. I think it's going to be. It's got everything you want in a track that you race at. It's got the high line. You can rip up there. You can run down at the bottom. You can run to the middle, and you can battle door to door all night long, and you're going to have cars on top of you pretty much the whole race. So you're not going to have a whole lot of chance to rest. It's going to be pretty incredible for sure. But just a few minutes left here, and qualifying is just about over. We'll take a look at the track facts real quick, and we saw the overhead view. You can see it's opened in 1960. You can see those 30-degree bankings, really what makes it so much fun. And you look there at 1 and 2, 3 and 4, it's different. The corners are different, even though it looks very similar. 1 and 2 is a little bit tighter radius. The 3 and 4 is a little bit wider. So you have to pay attention to that. You forget what corner you're going into. You can knock down the outside wall if you're running the top. Down at the bottom, you can miss your line. So it is important that you keep on, top of it. And here tonight with 300 laps, it can be easy to forget what corner you're in. You kind of get all thrown for a loop. We've heard DW talking about the vortex for the weather. You might have a vortex in your brain tonight, 300 laps, if we can get some green flag racing in. But we know how important it is to get this done and get a win, get into the round of 12 if you can, and how competitive this series has been all season. I would imagine cautions are going to be flying left and right. Well, it is time to jump into the grid. Let's see who's going to start on the front row tonight. Alex Coffey starting it off right with a 14.239. Randy Mullins going to start outside of him in row number 1. In row number 2 is going to be Matt Cox with Nigel Christensen in that Toyota Camry in 4th. In 5th is Kenny Coppola with Hunter Carmichael. That race last week, heartbreaker, but he's going to start up front, see if he can't get the win tonight, at least get him into the round of 12. That's somebody to be looking out for, definitely in that number 3 machine. Been strong here lately. In 7th, it's going to be Jordan Schmeets with Blaine Wilson in 8th. In 9th, Ed Bowles Jr. with Jeffrey Taylor. Jeffrey needs to have a good night tonight. He needs to get up front. stay up front, stay in those stage points to get himself back above that cutoff line. 11th, Brandon Fetter Place and Brandon Bikey there in 12th. 13th, Chris Spear with Tim Wortman Jr. in 14th. 15th, Nick King. Barry Sanders right on top of that cutoff line. He has got the most to lose tonight. He is going to be trying to move forward and stay out of trouble. 17th, going to be Paul Gallimore with Warren Young in the 18th spot. In 19th, Justin Belmont, Jared Clark in 20th. 21st, Caden Orfrey with Darren Mills in 22nd. 23rd, Chris Davis, Jamison Middlemiss in 24th. 25th, Johnny Shade with Aaron Matthews in 26th. 27th, Ryan Huff and Nicholas Atwood in 28th. 29th, Matt Mackin. And that rounds out your grid here tonight in the Ram, the 300, as they are all lined up on pit road, getting ready to roll off here. And then we are going to go green for 300 amazing laps. It's going to be so much fun, as waiting on everybody here to grid up. We'll get this thing rolling. So 16 drivers will enter the race with an opportunity to race for a championship. Only 12 will leave this track with that same opportunity still. Who's it going to be? You know, I'm definitely not going to throw any names out there, but, you know, Blaine Wilson, negative 26 to the cutoff. He's going to need a lot of help tonight. He's going to go out, have to throw some big swings at it, try to find some pit strategy to get him up front, and maybe you know, kind of sneak a win in there if he can. Actually, you know, yeah, he's in eighth position there, so he's already up front. Just needs to get up there. Let's take a look at the race analysis. 300 laps here tonight. Your stages are lap 85 and 170. That's the laps these guys are going to try to hit to get those stage point pit road speed, 35 miles an hour. 6 tire sets available. Going to have to pay attention to that, especially if we have a lot of cautions. 1 green, white, checker to camp, open setup. I know that Kenny Coppola machine's going to be head hunting here tonight, but up front, Alex Coffey, Big Esports, they put it on the pole, so you know they got some speed. I can't wait. This is going to be a blast. If we can get some green flag racing, this is some of the best racing you'll see on iRacing. It's some of the most fun, but that's a really, really big, yeah. Let's get ready to go green, 300 laps. Pace car pulls off the track. Barney with the green flag in his hand, and we are green here at Bristol. 300 laps. Who's going to make it into the round of 12? Lap 1 in the books, and it's Alex Coffey with Matt Cox in second. Takes over that second spot. And now Coffey will try to make some ground up. You see Randy Mullins immediately gets up to the outside to make that pass back, and he does not want to give up track position here at Bristol. So what you'll see throughout the night is that the bottom will be very, very good here early. The outside will be good. The outside's good all the time, and I would imagine some of these guys set their qualifying times on the outside line. However, that outside line will burn the tires up. It's a tightrope you got to walk. You can make passes by running the outside, but if you can run the bottom, you can run it consistently, you will have the better tires on the long run. But passing on the outside is very easy to do. So I don't want to run the bottom, and if you go to make a pass, try to get on the outside. But after about 15 or 20 laps, if you're the leader, you can just kind of park it up on that outside line at some point, and it will be good enough to hold these guys off. So it's going to be an interesting strategy. You really don't have a whole lot of time to take a break here tonight. These drivers are going to be at road rage to the max. How frustrating this can be. Cars on top of you all the time, trying to hit every single lap perfectly. As we watch Alex Coffey, Randy Mullins, they start to tighten up this top 5 from Alex all the way back to Jordan Schmeets. Randy Mullins started outside the front row and now looking maybe to make a move on Coffey. Once the tires start to wear, it's important that you can get to the outside. Passing on the bottom will be pretty much impossible later in the run. So if you're going to make a pass, you're going to have to do it now. We'll see what Randy decides to do here. You know, we still have 2 stage breaks. Not going to hurt you to hang out. It's going to be hard to pass for everybody once we get into the run. So, you know, he might get up here and just hang out around Alex Coffey. Of course, he is locked in, so he is pretty much good to go. And Alex wants to win these stages to get those points to lock himself in. For Matt Cox there in 3rd place, he is, you know, definitely not safe. Gonna have to take care of that car and not take too many risks. I think Brandon Bikey started from the pits. He's way back from the field. Of course, we know he's fast enough. He's likely not going to go lap down. So I think he might have gotten worried or just wanted to start by himself and see what he can do. In this first stage, you see there's the pack coming behind him. But, yeah, he came out of pit lane, so I think he started from the pits. He is all but locked in, so he just doesn't want to have a lap 1 wreck. No fast repair in this series. I think that's a smart move. If a couple guys wreck out, he will pretty much advance. So he just needs to survive the carnage, not have a terrible race. That may be what is going on there. So far, not really any big movers. Chris Davis has moved up 6 spots from where he started. Everybody else kind of running where they began. Nigel Christensen, really the only driver up here in the 17 that has lost a bunch of spots. See him working that outside here early. You know, I hate to jinx it, but so far so good with some green flag racing. On board with Nigel Christensen here, as we do have a battle for the 3rd spot, as Kenny Coppola has caught Randy Mullins. Randy was up there about to battle with Alex Coffey, who was all for the lead, but Cox has gotten around him now. Here comes Kenny Coppola. And you can see how difficult it is to pass. Jordan Schmidt's going to look to the outside, and he can, you know, that outside line is moving at the moment, so he'll be able to fill that gap, really know where to go. But you can see Coppola really struggling to make that pass on the bottom. And it's geometry. That's all it is. If Kenny can use the whole track, the bottom is good. You see Randy Mullins actually going to let him go. I like that. It's a smart move. Oh, little contact there between those 2 drivers. What I was going to say is when you're on the bottom, you're able to use the whole track. See how they go right out to the wall? Well, when you got somebody on your outside, you can't do that. So you have to scrub speed off, and that outside line gets a massive run. So it is important that you make passes quickly, because if you get on the bottom, especially on a restart, you could find yourself going backwards really, really fast there and getting stuck down on the inside line. Like I said, when you're by yourself, it's probably the best line to be running. When you're in traffic, that outside line is pretty strong, and it can hold on. We had a pass for the lead, though. As while I was running my mouth, Matt Cox goes around and takes the lead. Let's see if we can't go back and find out exactly what transpired. And you see the 32 going to get out. We'll back it up just a little bit more. Going to get a run here, and he snuck up to the outside. Drives it deep into the corner. Going to get to that right rear quarter panel. There's nothing that Coffey could do at this point. The run from the top side is just too strong. You can see he gets right up to the wall. Maybe a little Bristol bounce. If you're old school, you know about that. Oh, and caution out on the speedway. And looks like maybe Ryan Huff was where this started. Let's go back and see while we were watching that replay of the Ryan Huff here in the 24. I didn't get under the 16 and just loops it. Just comes around on him. Pretty good hit down to that inside wall. That's a bummer to have happen. Go on board, just kind of see what that looks like. How quickly it happens in the next gen car. It's just so dang impossible to save. He's going to get on the throttle here. Just gets a little bit too low on exit. Boom, right at the Bristol Motor Speedway sign. He goes around. Ryan Huff will exit this one, and he will be done for the night. Of course, he is not in any playoff situation, so not a big deal for him. Obviously, he'd love to finish the race, but doesn't really change the playoff outlook at all. Nobody elected to come down pit road. No surprise there. Only 6 sets of tires here tonight. Definitely don't want to burn one early. Tires make a huge difference. You know, talking about how difficult it is to make passes on the bottom. If you have fresh tires, you can really just kind of slice and dice this whole field. If you happen to get on fresh tires and everybody else is on older ones, it makes you feel like Superman. You got all this room. You can go 3 wide at Bristol. So tires will be important. It's worth saving those as long as you possibly can. Especially if we get a late race restart with about 15 to 20 laps to go. Somebody with fresh tires can really put a hurting on the field. But Matt Cox goes up there and gets the lead here early. I think that is a great thing to do. As Tim Wortman Jr. blinks out, he comes back. Scary moment there. But, yeah, that's a great thing to do. Try to fight, get that. And he did it perfectly. He's been running the bottom, gets up to the Coffee, jumps up to the outside, makes the passes, and jumps right back down to the bottom. That is how you get it done here at Bristol. Don't want to spend too much time up there, but that lead, it is hard at the end of these fuel runs to make those passes. And, man, he's got a great position now as we do get doubled up. Getting ready to go back green. Matt Cox, of course, will pick the outside. Why wouldn't you? George Schmidt's moved up to that 3rd spot. They're going to be fighting for every position you can get here on this restart. Especially if you're in that inside line, you're going to be trying to fight hard. These tires are older. That inside line is not going to go like it did before. Good through 1 and 2. Cox gone, but man, Alex Coffey and Jordan Schmidt's almost have a massive pile up as Schmidt's going to give him a nice little bump through the middle of the corner, but Alex Coffey kind of cleared himself as Schmidt's was definitely there. That was a close call and could have ended both their nights in a heartbeat. So very close call there, but Schmidt's going to fall back to 3rd as Coffey going to try to get up here and battle for the lead. But look at the kind of race that we got going on back here. This is where it's the hardest. Because you can't afford to run the bottom. You have to get up there and run the top. You have to make up those spots. You can see, watching Warren Young here go around the 7 to Chris Spear. Glad to have Chris Spear back tonight. A name I haven't really said in a while. Glad to have him back out on track. But, yeah, I mean, when you're back here, you got to run that top line. And, unfortunately, you're going to burn those tires up really, really bad. Barry Sanders. Some sort of issue with the 88, and this is not what he needed to have happen. I don't exactly know. I don't get the penalty stuff for him. I have no idea. Sort of looks like he just did a drive-through. He's still driving through. I don't know if he's got to make a stop or what. But, I mean, he is multiple laps down. And for a playoff driver, this is, and he is the, whoa, right in, there's a wreck on the front stretch. Randy Mullins involved. Blaine Wilson, more playoff drivers with trouble. Blaine Wilson sitting sideways, caution back out on the speedway. A lot going on all at once. We were watching Barry Sanders come down pit road, and here comes the 54 on the outside. Was it one of those self-clearing accidents? We're going to find out. Blaine Wilson down on the bottom. And camera turned away at just the worst possible time. We'll watch it again, see if we can't get a good view of it. And yeah, I mean, the 18 just kind of maybe gets a little bit tight, comes up the track. And wow, what a great job by everybody to avoid him. Hopefully everybody avoided 54 as well, as he was right up against the wall. Looks like they all did. So great job by everybody to avoid making that a bigger wreck than it was. But man, playoff drivers galore having issues. Here comes Randy Mullins down pit road. Obviously damage on that 54 machine. Of course, he is locked in. He is good to go after last week. So he is fine. But man, Barry Sanders is the one that I don't know what happened to him, but he is still on pit road getting a penalty. See, he's exiting right now. 56 seconds on pit road. That is a 40-second penalty. So I'm not real sure what happened to the 88. Got to back up. Maybe we can see what happened, but must have had like a passing under yellow or some sort of penalty. See, he's getting going here. RS Button Box's 88 scheme, a very good looking paint scheme, and the only thing I can think of is some sort of weird iRacing passing under yellow, not getting lined up properly. Maybe somebody will let me know. I don't know. If you're in chat, you're watching the race, let me know what happened to Barry, because we're watching right here and see him coming down pit road to serve that penalty before the caution came out, and he ended up going 4 laps down in that exchange. Why don't we ask the man himself? Let's get him up in here. Barry Sanders, Eddie in the booth, got a copy?
What's going on, Eddie?
Well, I know you're disappointed. We kind of want to know what happened when you had a penalty, obviously some sort of 40-second hold. What happened there?
It said I entered a closed pit, which it said open on my screen, so I don't know. And then my pit box countdown wasn't working. I've got a spotter tonight too, so everything's kind of jacked up, but I guess we'll try to get it back here shortly.
Yeah, I mean, you're right there on that cutoff line, and you're about to go green, so good luck, and hopefully we'll see you back on the lead lap and try to get those points back.
Thanks, Eddie.
Didn't want to add to any more confusion. Try to get a little bit more info out of him, but there you have it. Inner closed pit is where that penalty came from. So now Barry Sanders, who's just a few points above the cutoff, now in major trouble. There's a little bit of restart games happening up front. Hopefully that doesn't cause any issues in the back. Looks like we're getting through clear just fine. Matt Cox gets free. Now it's Coffee gets a great run off of 2. He's actually going to look down to the inside. Oh, they make a little bit of contact there as Alex Coffey going for the lead. You'll see that outside line be pretty strong on a restart as the tires have cooled down a little bit. But it will not take long before the 32 will be able to fight back. And you can see already fighting back here on the outside. Alex has got to do this quickly or he'll run out of opportunity to do it. And you see he's already run out. Oh, no, Cox gets into the wall. I think the 15 kind of made him nervous. I don't see Alex Coffey making this pass without a 32 mistake here, since we have 46. Although he does almost clear him there, he's trying to get that run through the middle of the corner, but you can see how difficult it is. Look how tough it is to make those passes. He had about a lap of those cooler tires. Now it's just not going to happen. Without a mistake from the 32, 32 is going to be able to maintain this position he does with that outside line. So Matt Cox back to the lead. That's how important it is to get that lead position. We get this green flag racing. It is so difficult to make a pass. I've driven quite a few races here in the next gen car, and you would think a setup might help, just doesn't. Of course, a lot of these guys are running similar setups, but best thing you can do once it gets to this point, 50 laps here on these tires, is to just get on that guy's back bumper and just ride. Just do the best you can. You don't want to burn your stuff up or make contact trying to make a pass and just make it happen. So Alex Coffey going to fall back a little bit. You can see how quickly those tires heat up and start to fade. As now he's got Kenny Coppola and Nick King. Nick King is up 11 spots, so he is definitely moving through the field. Chris Davis in the 74. He's got Ram on his hood and Ram on the name of the race. got to get that 74 up to the front now that Randy Mullins has had his issue. Randy Mullins is out of this race. He has called it quits after that damage, so he will not finish this one. Definitely a bummer for the 54, but he is locked into the round of 12, so no worries out of that group. We'll see if Kenny can make a pass here. I just don't know. He's going to dive down to the inside. You can see just the run that you're getting, and because those tires are so worn out now after 54 laps, you're scrubbing so much speed from entry or from middle to off. And you're just not able to carry the speed that the outside line is able to carry in. So but what a fun track. I cannot tell you, if you're iRacing, if you're on iRacing at all, you definitely want to get out here in the next gen car and run Kansas or Bristol, because I'm telling you, you won't have any more fun than running those tracks. Of course, Dover in a Xfinity car, an ARCA car, maybe one of the best combinations on the service. Darlington in the as Alex Coffey slips just a little bit. That's going to open the door. I still don't think he's going to be able to make this pass without a pretty wild slider. You see he actually gets a little bit loose there. And caution. Back out on the speedway. It looks like more playoff drivers. Aaron Matthews and Jeffrey Taylor. Both those drivers below the cutoff, and they have a wreck here on lap 59. Yeah, let's go back and see if we can find out what happened. Man, playoff drivers, it's funny how that happens. See the 9 here? I don't even see the 5 anywhere. Oh, he just gets up into the 7. And then Aaron, where's he coming in at the last second, just trying to avoid him, and boom, there it is. On board with. That's just another instance of that inside line being so difficult. And gosh, it's so frustrating. Not too tough of a hit there for Aaron, but they definitely want to go try to get some of that damage fixed. That brings out yet another caution as we're just 25 laps to go here in this first stage. Those guys will come down pit road, get some damage fixed. I mean, these are scary moments. You know, Jeffrey Taylor having that issue like that. Barry Sanders is now in a good spot for the next couple stages, I think. Barry is 4 laps down, so I think he will get the lucky dog here. So he'll get back 3 laps. Then at the stage, it's likely he'll get another one, so that'll give him 2. And then he's going to have to hope on some cautions, and, you know, we don't have a long green flag run where folks start going a lap down. Barry's going to need a lot of help, though, to get these 4 laps back. Been a solid race so far. 300 laps does seem daunting, but you can see the potential for green flag racing here at Bristol, just because of all the room that you have, and so these laps will click off pretty quick. Everybody thinking about stage points for sure. Matt Cox came into this race 14 above the cutoff, and to get those stage points here would just keep increasing. All those guys below the cutoff continues to have issues. You know, all that does is make those points even more valuable. I mean, so far involved in incidents, Randy Mullins, who is locked in, so it's not a big deal for him. But Jeffrey Taylor, Aaron Matthews involved in that last one. Barry Sanders having his issues. Shane Davis not even in the race, so I'm not sure he's definitely not going to move on to the next round. So a lot can go wrong here. But if you're Justin Belmont, Paul Gallimore, you guys are having quiet, calm races, doing exactly what you need to do. Chris Davis been moving up a ton of spots. Hunter Carmichael, Tim Wortman Jr., all those guys are in great shape. But you've got a few that have really had some issues here early. Green flag back out. Matt Cox with control of the restart. And I wonder if Nick King going to be able to get to the outside. Not quite able to do that just yet. Is Coffey going to jump up in front? It is a melee back here around the top 5 position. Look at him fanned out 3 wide. At least all 3 lanes. Nick King going to get clear. He is tied with the biggest movers of the race. Is Coppola. Almost comes up into the 3 of Hunter Carmichael. We've seen that quite a few times now. Is Darren Mills out on the track. So this might be Barry Sanders' worst nightmare. Is Darren Mills going down a lap and potentially taking Barry Sanders' lucky dog. And you can hear the banging of these cars, sheet metal hitting the wall. Is Nick King running right up against that thing. Oh, and caution, back out. Johnny Shade, Ed Bowles Jr. involved. Paul Gallimore just talked about him having a good run, and here he is sideways. And caution back out on the raceway. Barry Sanders, sigh of relief as Darren Mills is able to stay on the lead lap. That will give Barry Sanders the lucky dog here. That is great news for him. And we'll go back and see what happened to Gallimore. He's going to have to wait. He's going to lose a lap out of this whole deal. Find out what happened to the 11. Big checkup in front of him is, Ed Bowles was all out of shape. Look at this. He goes through, and as soon as he almost gets through it, Ed Bowles just finally loses it. Go back and see what happened to the 38 here that kind of started all that. I mean, you just see he's in the hornet's nest. Looking to the inside of the 22, and I don't know if he just got loose or if he got some help. We're going to check it out here in just a second. See, he got loose there. That's where the tire starts to heat up. Putting a lot of pressure on that right rear. Down on the bottom, he gets loose. And there it is. Oh, he gets some help from the 17. Up into the wall, he's saving it, but those rear tires are super heated when he gets on the throttle. Goes around Gallimore. Gallimore will have to take the wave around here. Got some people coming down for tires, it looks like. Jordan Schmeets, 22, one of them that came down pit road, likely trying to flip this stage or getting some damage fixed. One of the two. It looks like damage is the name of the game for the 22. 17 seconds on pit road. That's 4 tires and damage likely, unless he took... It looks like the jack was going up and down on that 22. So he did take tires. So he will restart in the 22nd. Probably hoping to maybe flip this stage and get that track position. But up front, it is still Matt Cox with the lead. Well, if you're the number 3, you're probably looking for some redemption after last race. He didn't even want to talk. He finished 3rd, I believe, and didn't even want to have an interview. Definitely upset with himself. They're losing that race that he had just dominated, and he had a fantastic drive back up through the field after that mistake. Just coming out of the exit at Watkins Glen, those cold tires, gets loose and just kind of skirts half the car across the pit exit line, the commitment line. You have to stay inside of that as you're exiting before you hit the pit exit cone. And he slid outside of that, and they gave him a penalty and ruined his chance at a win. So, love to have a little redemption here for the 3 after such a heartbreaking loss. I mean, he did gain a ton of points from fighting back as hard as he did. But, boy, a win at Bristol sure would be pretty sweet, I think. Getting ready to go green here. We'll have just under Just under 15 laps to go in this stage. So green flag back out. Now it's Coffee. Gets a great jump. Tire 73 laps old, so Cox will be able to get that position back. But look here, almost 3 wide. It's like the 20 of Caden Norfolk kind of backed out of it, said, no thank you. These guys are getting with it here as Cox going to pull away. It just seems like cautions are waiting to happen. Warren Young trying to sneak up to the outside of the 3 as Alex Coffey falling. Oh, and he got a penalty. I was wondering about that. He jumped the start. He's going to have to come down pit road and serve a penalty. Not going to get those stage points. He needs those. He is still well above the cutoff line, 50 plus 54. But I said this field is big enough that that could go away. And you see he's going a lap down now. Gonna have to come down and serve a penalty for that jump in. That restart caution is back out. This could make it even worse as Caden Norfrey spins it. There's always 2 or 3 things happening once here at Bristol. Gotta keep both eyes open, it looks like. Let's see what happened in the 2020. Was really struggling on that restart. I wonder if he just got loose. Oh, he gets a little bit of help from Brandon Bikey. Goes around. Aaron Matthews gets some more damage on the front of that 5. And that brings out the caution. I'm not really sure if that helped or hurt Alex Coffey. I don't know if he got to serve the penalty or not. That's going to be a big question. I'm not sure. A lot of these penalties you have to serve under green, so when the caution comes out, he already gave up a lap, and that might be bad if that is actually the case. If he has to wait for green flag, come back down again, that will put him another lap down, maybe 2. So, and frustrating for some of these drivers. We've got some folks coming down pit road. Brandon Bikey going to come down, along with Ed Bowles Jr. and Caden Norfrey. So, a lot of mistakes here early from a lot of drivers, and you know that jump in the restart, that's Alex Coffey trying to do whatever he can to negate the advantage. He can get a good run, get clear. Coffey now 1 lap down, back in 24th position. If we can go back a little bit and see if we can't find exactly what happened. There was. We'll watch this restart from the 15. This is a replay, so we'll give you the replay screen. And watch this restart as we'll see if the 32 spun his tires, maybe what went wrong. It's hard to say. We'll see it right here. Maybe the 15 tried to jump it. Get ready. Here comes the restart zone, and yeah, it's hard to say there. Coffey tries to back out, but he gets bumped behind. And I want to say, you know, I think Matt Cox says, hey, this is my restart. You tried to jump it. Let's go on board with Matt Cox, see what that restart looked like from his point of view. Yeah, I mean, Coffey just went early. He tried to time it based on what has been done in the past, and that's a fair call. It's a 32s. It's his decision in the box whether or not he goes at the beginning of the box or at the end. He waited that time, and the 15 going to get tagged for that one. Sean Rogers said the caution saved him. As long as you're in the pits while it's still green, it still counts. So that is that's good to know. I don't think I knew that. So Alex Coffey, it's like that will be a penalty served. He's still a lap down though. He'll have to get the stage break here. That's not good for Barry Sanders because Alex Coffey will get the lucky dog at the stage break, and Barry really needed that one. So still got plenty of time. Probably a lot of cautions left in this thing, but we're gonna have a little 3-lap shootout, 4-lap shootout to this stage break. And again, Matt Cox with a fantastic restart. Gets clear for the lead. Side by side back for second. That's Nick King and Justin Belmont making that outside work. And Blaine Wilson right behind him on the outside line. These guys 82 laps on tires, except for Blaine Wilson, who has got fresh tires, and he is all over the back bumper as Nick King going to get taken 3 wide. The 18 obviously has a ton of speed with those tires, but you see there's just nowhere to go for the 18. If he can ever get clear, look how much faster he is in the middle of the corner. Just nowhere to go. He's got Kenny Coppola on the inside. He's got Nick King right in front of him. He's going to try to sneak up. Yeah, he thought about it. He wanted to try to sneak up there and get that position, but can't make use of those 4 tires. Look how frustrating this is. Man, oh man, the 18 probably punching the air right now, just not able to do it. But look at Matt Cox, who's going to win stage number 1, and Justin Belmont is going to finish second. That is some really good stage points for that number 6 machine, who came in just 6 points above the cutoff. And a lot of guys around him having trouble. That's what you need to do. Justin Belmont, we talked about him missing the playoffs entirely. Now look at him, racing his way into the round of 12. But Matt Cox is your stage 1 winner. A long one. Now these guys can finally come down pit road, get some tires, get back after it. Alex Coffey will be the lucky dog. He'll get back on the lead lap, get himself some tires. He's going to have a lot of work to do. But if there's anybody that can come up through the field, it's definitely that 15. Pit road is open. 4 tires and fuel will be the call for a lot of these drivers. Even Blaine Wilson, who pitted 48 laps ago. He'll come down and get some as well. I don't think we'll see anybody. I don't know. Somebody might try to flip the stage, but I'm going to be honest. I don't see anybody with any kind of laps where that's going to work out in their favor on the long run. Looks like we are going to have a few folks do it. Chris Davis in the 74 going to be the first one. He has 27 laps on his tires, and I think his idea is I'm just going to save this set. So a few drivers going to stay out here under the stage break, try to get some track position. But I think 28 laps, even 19 laps that Schmitz and Darren Mills has, I'm curious to see what that's going to be tire-wise. See the battle off pit road. Nick King, Blaine Wilson, side by side coming off pit road. Nick King looks like he wins that battle. Well, 170 is stage 2. Hopefully we get some green flag racing, but right now this is the nervous part, I think. Some of these drivers. Because what are these tires going to do? You know, I think fresh tires are going to be pretty strong. You'll be able to pass them on the bottom. They'll try to, you know, kind of park it in that outside line. But I still think at 30 laps on these tires, it's going to be a big enough difference that it's going to be difficult to hold these guys back. And you got Brandon Bikey, who has just 9 laps on a set of tires, so I think he'll be okay. But after that, Matt Cox back in 6th, where he'll come out. I think these guys are going to get eaten up pretty quickly, I think. So. Due to get the 1 to green, and we'll get back racing here at Bristol. Been a pretty normal Bristol race. I can't really say it's been caution filled. They've had some really good green flag run, but it hasn't been super clean either. So we'll see a little bit more of the same here in stage 2 in that final stage. Hopefully it'll calm down. We'll get a long green flag run. But pace car going to pull off. Chris Davis control the restart. You can see that just did not go on the inside line. That's going to give Matt Cox, hey, it's free real estate. He goes right around. He's going to just fly right by these guys. I can go ahead and tell you that right now. Right around the 2. Gallimore going to stick around on the bottom. You just watch here. In this next lap or so, the tires are going to get up to temp for that 32. They're super cold at the moment. He is going to pick up the pace. We'll see what he does. Go right down the bottom. Watch the tire difference. You haven't seen anybody be able to make that move all night long. Does it with ease. Not even an issue with that. So now Cox up to second. Oh, man, Warren Young is having some sort of issue. Big wreck. Oh, they're piling in here. Alice Coffey involved. Jeffrey Taylor. Caden Orfrey. Justin Belmont was trying to avoid that. Jamison Middlemiss there down on the bottom. And caution back out on the speedway. Try to see what happened. Gonna look at the 16. I don't know if that's where it started or if he was just involved in it. So you got a big run here. Yeah, it was, oh my goodness. Looks like the one of Warren Young is where that all started. We'll see what happened to him. It's cold tires. It might have been a cold tire situation. Got Nick King right in front of him. Oh, it's going to get tagged in the rear by Kenny Coppola. Kenny Coppola just gets him in the rear, and then it's just bumper cars from here on out. So some damage to some playoff drivers. I don't think anything was too bad there, but you don't want that happening. Warren Young now down on pit road. You got Matt Mack and Justin Belmont all coming down pit road as well. Probably has some damage they need to get fixed. Alex Coffey come down pit road for some damage repair. He was involved in that. He's back on lead lap though, so he is in good shape. Coffey just needs to survive. He's got plenty of points. He would love to have got some of those stage points in the first stage to really make him feel comfortable, but just doesn't need to have anything detrimental for him to have. Now, if you're Barry Sanders, you're loving this because now he is just 2 laps down. Now, I don't know if he'll get the lucky dog. I think he should. I don't think anybody else is a lap down, so that should put him 1 lap down if he does get it, which he should get it here in the next lap or so. And that will put him and Warren Young on the same lap, and Warren Young is down on pit road with a lot of damage. So I think Barry Sanders is going to get back to 1 lap down here, and then he will for sure get back on lead lap. So if you're Barry Sanders, you probably kind of swallowed your throat early, going 4 laps down, just feeling like, oh man, I don't know, can I climb out of this? And so far has been able to do that. Trying to see if he is going to get the lucky dog or not. He may have already gotten it, so it might have moved him to 2 laps down, but he will be the first car 2 laps down. Still trying to figure out the lineup here as we do get the 1 to green. We are a third of the way through this. Yeah, it looks like Barry Sanders is 2 laps down, so he'll need 2 more cautions. Definitely possible. So here we go. Matt Cox, his tires are up to temp. He is going to be in good shape here. Chris Davis chooses the inside line here. I'm not sure if Chris Davis definitely the leader. We'll see what Chris can do here. Kind of leans on the outside line and goes early in the box and kind of checks up everybody from 6th on back. But look at Matt Cox with those fresh tires. Here comes Jordan Schmeets. He's got the older ones. Paul Gallimore on the same tires as Chris Davis. And he's holding pretty good right now, but as these older tires get heat in them, they start to show their age. So they'll look pretty good right now, but in the next couple laps, they will fade relatively quickly. Like he gets to the back bumper of the 18th, tries to put a little pressure on him, has to back off just a little bit. Chris Davis making me look like a Dumbo out there running the fastest lap of the race with 42 lap old tires. So those tires still got a little bit of life in it. Let's see how long they hold off though. Battle here between Jordan Schmeets, Blaine Wilson, and Nick King, who almost gets to the outside of the 18. 18 looking at its windshield, not quite out of his rear view. Nick King gonna sneak up to the outside, and that number 12 machine gives the bump to the 22. Maybe you might take it 3 wide here. Looks down to the inside, just nowhere to go for that 12. Gonna follow Blaine Wilson, Jordan Schmeets with those older tires in this group. They're able to get around him. 12 gonna give him plenty of space. So now here comes the 18. They start to get single file. We're up front. Matt Cox trying to run down somebody with 30 lap older tires than him. Chris Davis doing a great job here. That time by Matt Cox, about a tenth faster. And make no mistake, Chris Davis, all he really needs to do here is just maintain track position. He's doing the perfect thing. Whether or not he loses the lead or not, doesn't matter. He has gotten himself up to the front. And even if Matt Cox does get around him, he's got a big enough gap here that he can just maintain, save the tires the best he can. And he will have a pretty good finishing position for that stage number 2. So we'd love to see this thing stay green all the way. They're going to come up on some lap traffic here that will slow down Chris just a little bit. Catches him at the worst possible time. That's going to draw in the 32 almost immediately. Here comes Matt Cox now, starting to put the pressure. I'll admit, I mean, Paul Gallimore, these guys on the old tires holding tight here. The 11, everybody's kind of stacking up behind him. You see right here, a lot of drivers just were maybe nowhere to go as Mikey gets into the 12. I mean, it's just a stack up here. It's like somebody running. Oh, the 18 going to give him a shove as we got a battle for the lead. I got battles all over the track. That's what it's like up here in Moonshiners. Matt Cox going to take the lead here for sure. And now the battle's on the third. Blaine Wilson now getting clear of the 11. Now Gallimore is in that moment where this is going to get frustrating for him. And Chris Davis has got the gap he needs to kind of keep this from being his fate. Jordan Schmeets on those older tires. He's back to 9th. So we're starting to see those older tires really start to drop off those cliffs. On iRacing, you'll run. The first couple laps will be a little bit slower as the tires are cold. Then you'll start hitting your faster laps. Once they get up to 10th, then you'll run the similar lap times for a while, and then it'll drop off the cliff. You'll lose 3 or 4 tenths. Oh, as Nick King gets loose, 3 wide, as he saves it and avoids calamity. The 12 of Nick King, though, he's heated those rear tires up, gets loose again, trying to save it. Oh my goodness, Tim Wortman, contact. Here comes Belmont. These guys trying to take advantage of this situation. And Nick King goes from battling in the top 5 to 17th position after that bobble off the corner. You can see just was not able to get the power down a couple times. That is the temperature, the way that it works in this car for sure, and especially on iRacing. And look at this right here. Hunter Carmichael back in 12th position. We're racing hard. On board with Hunter Carmichael. Following the 2 for a while, but it looks like the 2 struggling here on the outside line. The 3 needs to get down to the bottom. He's already lost a couple spots. Now here goes 3, just kind of being parked behind the 2. Hunter Carmichael not loving this. at all. It needs to get around that too quickly. Ooh, Coffee tries to clear himself again. Coffee's done that a couple times. Very Kyle Larson-esque, where he's trying to get the guy behind him to basically let off the gas. Say, hey, I'm faster than you, can just lift for me here. And not everybody wants to play along. He does get clear of the two, still trying to work that outside line and bounce it off the wall a couple of times. And start to fade. But now, Matt Cox back in control, stage 1 winner. Trying to go for 2 stages in a row. And all those points are going to be massive for the 32 to make sure that he moves on to the next round. Not clear at all. 14 points above the cutoff coming into this race. Wins stage number 1. Which is going to give him a nice boost. If he can win stage number 2, that's even better. So it's easy to go out here and ride, you know, and try to be safe, and a lot of guys have tried to do that and found themselves in trouble. Matt Cox has just been aggressive here tonight. It's worked out just perfectly for the 32. Keeps clicking off these laps under green. Get to lap 170 for stage 2. Chris Davis doing a fantastic job. I thought for sure they would get eaten up quickly, and while the other drivers did, he did not. Jordan Schmeets kind of settled back into 8th position. Paul Gallimore, he is back in 13th. But Chris Davis has been able to hang on. Oh, it's Jeffrey Taylor sitting backwards on the back straightaway. It brings out another caution. Trying to get it back going. See some damage to the front end of that machine. So I don't know what happened to Jeffrey Taylor, but another issue for him. He's been involved in a couple wrecks so far. You see the back bumper already kind of tore up there. You can see just the traffic that he's dealing with here. And a little bit of contact with Warren Young in the 17. And he's trying to get around it, then he gets tagged again. So man, just loses all those positions. He's 10 laps down, so it's not going great for the 9. Came into the race 5 points below the cutoff. He is in big danger here. Well, got some strategy call here. I like this. This is going to change how the race goes. Probably going to make it even more messy as Matt Cox comes down pit road. Blaine Wilson going to stay out. And a few other drivers. Jordan Schmeets comes down. Paul Gallimore, Nick King, Jared Clark, Darren Mills, Nigel Christensen, Chris Davis gives up after 71 laps, gives up that 2nd place position. Johnny Shade, Matt Mackin, all coming down pit road, and then everybody else up front. Blaine Wilson, Brandon Bikey, Coppola, Matthews, Spear, Belmont, Coffee, Carmichael. Those guys going to stay out here under this caution. Well, there has been a lot of drama in this race for sure. It's definitely delivered. We're not even halfway. We're just about 15 laps away from that point. Still a lot of racing to go. But once we get to that final stage, it's definitely going to be, I think, a different style of racing to get to the finish. I don't think you can make it on fuel from the final stage to the end. I think you'll still have to make a pit stop. But the way cautions are flying and the way these guys are fighting, and nobody's quitting out. We've got a few drivers that have called it quits, but you know, Jeffrey Taylor, who's 10 laps down, he needs to stay out on track. If a big, massive pileup happens, he needs every single point that he can get at this point. But he's just straight up not having a good time. That's clear. Barry Sanders is now just one lap down. Still back in 23rd, so he has gotten all but one. Matt Mackin, who is right in front of him, is the only other driver a lap down. Everybody else more than that. So he's racing that 01. He will eventually get his lap back, so he's done a great job so far. The pace car is off. Blaine Wilson, Brandon Bikey on the restart. Bikey struggling to get the power down. And we're going to see what these new tires can do up front. Matt Cox is back in the 10th position. Look at him, 3 wide. Cox not wasting any time, going right through the middle to take those spots. He knows who he's racing. And look at big run. Has to take evasive action to get under Chris Spear in that 7. And he is slicing them up very quickly. That 32 is fast. Gonna look under the 15. Nothing the 15 can do, it doesn't look like. Now they go side by side. Now there's nowhere for him to go. Does he have the patience to get through this? Trying to find who's going to go. Who is it? Carmichael? Is it Coffee? Who's going to get clear? Looks like the outside line's going to get rolling. Going to be able to get down to the inside. Yes, he is. Now he's going to look to the inside of Coffee. Cox trying to get up to is Aaron Matthews. Gets out of shape there. Goes down to the bottom. Coffee now up against the wall. Makes a little bit of contact. Here comes Cox. Cox can feel it. He's in the hornet's nest. As Coffee gives him a shove. As caution comes out, almost disaster, as it looks like Jeffrey Taylor around again. I do not want to be in the voice chat with him at the moment. Let's take a look, see what happens with the 9. No, he just gets loose on his own. Contact with Matt Mackin as he's trying to save it. And that brings out the caution here on lap 141. See just frustration out of that 9 machine. Playoff hopes starting to fade. But Barry Sanders will get the lucky dog. He is back on the lead lap. And for a driver that was 5 over the cutoff coming into this race, goes 4 laps down early in the race before halfway, gets it all back. Now he is back in this thing. Great job by the 88, staying with it, not giving up, and he's being rewarded now as an opportunity to continue battling here. Wayne Wilson is the leader out front. Matt Cox was able to get up to 6th position after that restart. And Bikey, who we saw, I think, start from the pits. Just been biding his time, trying to stay clean. Saw him make contact with somebody earlier. Can't remember who that was, but made a little bit of contact, but no harm, no foul. Got that 27 machine up into 2nd position. So, while not locked in, here, if you get these stage points, I think he's pretty much locked in at this point. 64 points. I can't remember what the max is. It's around 60 something that you can get in a race. And at this point, with as many drivers that are out, I think Bikey kind of pin his ears back and go after it. I think he is safe. I just don't see it, especially if he has a good finish here. Any points that he gains, it's going to put him in. So I think he is good to go. I want to say Coffee is good to go too. He hasn't had the best race since being out front, getting that penalty, but he's fought back to 7. He's still on older tires, not on the right side of the pit strategy, but you know, I still think, you know, that what just happened there, you know, taking a shot at the 32, I think that's the only thing that can take out Alex Coffey at this point. I think he's probably still going to move on with points with how much trouble everybody else has had, but it's just not worth pushing it, I don't think. Don't want to let frustration and anger kind of take over. Well, doubled up for this restart. Lap 145 going to lap 170 for stage number 2. Matt Cox in 5th on that outside line with the fresh tires. And green flag is back out. Bikey again, taking a safe restart. Let Blaine Wilson just kind of take off here. One driver slow on the track. I think that's Jameson Middlemiss. See, they're all lined up. Here comes Brandon Bikey, though. Takes a dive down to the inside. He's going to try to take the lead away from Blaine Wilson. That was a nice move. He can clear him here. I don't think he can. Blaine Wilson keeps the momentum up. That was a great move by Bikey off the top side trying to take the lead. I just don't think he's going to be able to clear him here. But a really fun looking move. I bet that was fun to try, but to the outside line. Oh, as Nick King's in the wall. Right in front of, off the nose of Hunter Carmichael. Jared Clark involved. So Hunter Carmichael, plus 13 coming in tonight, goes around here and he's got some damage on the front end of that machine. On board with Hunter Carmichael. We'll see what happened. I think the 12, yeah, I mean, Hunter kind of came down off the wall, and I think 12 just kind of tried to come up just to see how Hunter is about half a lane down. 12 just kind of assuming that, man, what a hard hit there. I think the 12 just assumed the 3 would go out to the wall, not expecting that. I think that's a pretty solid, kind of what you expect is, hey, I'm going to go out to the wall. And I think the 3 is done for the night. See that front end is all jacked up. Yeah, he's got major damage. So the 3, Hunter Carmichael, going to be out of this one. Unbelievable. Unbelievable the way that his races have gone. This is the worst thing that could have happened, and he calls it quits. Hunter Carmichael out of this one. It's going to be up to the points now. Did he gain enough points there early? We'll find out. Looks like Alex Coffey going to come down pit road here. 4 tires, fuel for the 15. 20 laps to go. We'll see if he decides to try to drive up through the field or if he is going to try to flip the stage. So, I mean, you know, with that wreck right there, that takes Hunter Carmichael out of this race, Jared Clark. So, Jeffrey Taylor, who we've seen just have a nightmare of a night, 12 laps down. That's 2 more spots for him. So, him still being out on the track, think, why is he out on track? 12 laps down, what's the point? That's the point, because now there's 2 more spots for him to get. That's 2 more points that can potentially be the difference between him moving on to the next round or not. So these guys don't have a whole lot of quit in them. Just over halfway. Hoping to get a little bit of green flag racing in here. I think that's that would be welcomed. We're racing to a stage, so we're just gonna have about 15 laps to go. 17 to be exact for the end of this stage, so we're not going to see any kind of patience here. It's going to be wild and out racing. A lot of old tires up here. Matt Cox, though, in that 3rd position, 2nd on the outside line. He has the freshest. Let's see if he can get it done. Blaine Wilson, though, with control of the restart. Pace car going to pull off. We're going to go back green. All clear for the front two. Here comes Cox down to the inside, making use of those fresh tires. Gonna get up next to Blaine Wilson, the run from the top side. Pretty strong right there. We'll see if he can make do on the bottom. 40 lap fresher tires, but that newness is kind of maybe worn off a little bit, but no, perfectly done. Blaine Wilson, though, I tell you what, these guys, oh, caution, back out on the speedway. What? I don't know. Showed Nick King was slow on the track, so we'll see if it started with him or if he was, oh yeah, Aaron Mills just gets loose off the corner, gets into his right rear quarter and sends him up into the wall. Does a really nice job, and somebody kind of helped get him going in the right direction, but brings out another caution. Matt Cox was able to take the lead there. Little shove from the 18. I tell you, the guys here do not like slide jobs. If you slider one of these guys, they're going to just run into you. There's no lifting or anything. So I think Matt knew what was coming and just kept his foot in it. Got into the wall a little bit after that contact, but still able to maintain the lead as caution came out right after that. I think if you're going to flip the stage, this would have been a perfect time to do that. I don't know if anybody will attempt that or not. Most everybody that's coming down pit road is doing so for damage. Nick King likely come down and get some damage fixed on that 12 machine. Johnny Shade has been on pit road for a while getting damage fixed along with Matt Mackin. So it seems to be damage repair. I don't see any big strategy calls. Chris Spear down on pit road as well. All these drivers, both of them getting now about 20 seconds of damage fixed. So nobody from the lead group comes down pit road trying to do anything fancy here. Almost an hour and 20 minutes into this race, and we are at lap 160. So we are on par for a 3-hour race if this continues. Moonshiners, one of the longest seasons of any series that I call. They do a full NASCAR schedule, and they run full Xfinity Link races. So these guys get plenty of racing throughout the season. Last week was pretty nice as we had a road course, no cautions. Able to kind of get through that one pretty quickly, but tonight we're going to make up for it. It looks like on par for about 3 hours worth of racing. Race recap so far: 11 cautions, 11 lead changes as we're getting ready to go back green here with just 9 laps to go in this stage. Matt Cox gets a great jump. Going to get cleared by quite a bit over Brandon Bikey. Justin Belmont, another one of those drivers on older tires, but you got Chris Davis, who is on 4 fresh tires, caution, back out on the speedway. Matt Mackin slow on the track. Take a look, see what happened to him. Battling with Jeffrey Taylor, and again, Jeffrey Taylor involved as he makes contact with the 01. Jeffrey Taylor involved yet again. Probably his 5th caution he has been involved with. Trying to fight back. Obviously, frustration maybe taking over. Makes contact again. Well, not quite on par for 34 caution race like what we had at Martinsville early in the season, but we're going to catch up quickly if we can't get any green flag racing. We'll have just a short green flag run here. That was not stage, so we will run to lap 170. They'll get the green here and have a 3-lap run to the finish of stage number 2. Green flag back out. Matt Cox with a great restart. I have just a few laps to get around this track, lock down stage number 2. Chris Davis with those fresh tires trying to maybe get up to 2nd place. It was just 9 points above the cutoff coming into this race, and any stage points he can get will be good for him. And there you see Tim Wortman Jr. in the 83. He's been quiet all race, doing exactly what he needs to do. So some guys have been doing a great job. Some have really had some tough nights. Barry Sanders is back up into the 15th position. So great work by all those drivers. Ooh, contact here as Blaine Wilson gets into the wall, but that should be stage. Matt Cox will win stage number 2. That is 2 stage wins for Matt. We'll talk to him after this round of pit stops. Caution back out on the speedway, this time for a stage break. So now we are set up for the final run to the finish. Should get the green with about 125 laps to go. Don't think they can quite make that on fuel, so there'll at least be one more stop if it were to go green all the way. James Middleman's going to get one of his 4 laps back as here they come down pit road. Matt Cox leads them in. Chris Davis up 21 spots, now equalized on tires. So the 74, his pit strategy here tonight has been really, really solid. And it's going to find himself in at least in the top 5, assuming he doesn't speed or have some sort of penalty. So just great work out of some drivers. Chris Davis done a fantastic job. Did not expect those tires to hold up like it did earlier in that stage, but he made them work and did a great job. Drop the jack. Matt Cox going to win the battle off pit road. Chris Davis gets second. And we got some stage flippers. Jordan Schmeets, 41 laps on his set of tires. He is going to stay out, it looks like. Kenny Coppola flipped the stage. Came down 9 laps ago. He will have relatively fresh tires, I think. Kenny Coppola, Darren Mills, those guys in pretty good shape. Just a few laps. They'll actually fire off probably a little bit quicker than Matt Cox. I think Schmeets is the only one that really is going to struggle here, especially if we go green. But we have no indication that we're going to have any green flag racing. So I think Schmeets is probably in pretty good shape here. Well, let's get Matt Cox up into the booth and talk to him. As long as we don't get the 1 to green, no, we just got the 1 to green. We'll talk to him under the next caution in a few laps, and we'll get his thoughts on the race then. But we'll get this restart. See what Jordan can do with these older tires. We saw Chris Davis do a great job holding off. Of course, he's got the lead. He can get out ahead. Get about a 3/4 gap just by restart alone. He is starting on the bottom, so we'll see if that causes any tire spin or anything. But here we go. Final stage here in the Ram 300. Decent restart for Schmeets, but not as good as I thought he was going to get. Gonna try to get clear, put a little gap on these guys. Battle here is Darren Mills, who's kind of in no man's land for where he's been running. He's not quite had the pace that these other guys have, and they're just driving right around him. Coppola now gets to the back bumper road. Schmeets going to look up to the outside. Schmeets going to give him a little gap here. Now around outside goes Kenny Coppola for the lead. Jordan Schmeets holding on the best he can. Jordan doesn't care. He's locked in just like Randy Mullins. He's got that win. And so he is, whatever he needs to do, it doesn't matter to him. He's moving on. But for these guys he's racing around, they are not locked in. As there goes Jordan Schmeets down to the inside. And caution comes out for that. The admins are throwing cautions now. So that's definitely what we want to see is admins throwing cautions for somebody spitted down to the inside wall. Oh my goodness. So under caution again. Let's talk to see if we can talk to Matt Cox now, who is won both those stages. Let's bring him in here if I can find him. Where is he at? There he is. Matt, this is Eddie in the booth. You got a copy?
Hey, what's up?
Oh man, you are. It's been fun watching you race here. I mean, you're not locked in by any stretch of the imagination when you came into the race, and you were being really aggressive, fighting really hard, and to get both stage wins, that's a pretty good statement here at Bristol.
Yeah. What happened there in that caution? I think I exited low because I was gonna get a run on Kenny, but
Yeah, it looks like Jordan Schmeets got loose, went down to the inside wall, hit it, and the admin threw the caution.
weird. I don't know. I think I don't know. We'll see. I'll have to look at it and see. But no, I'm trying to push hard. I'm trying to get out here and just lock in with a win. I think I'm fast enough to do it. Having the lead means so much though, so I'm gonna have to get that back.
Yeah, it seems like that Bears car is pretty quick here tonight. Right now you're in a situation where you kind of have to go, right? You don't have a whole lot of time to wait where that outside line becomes dominant. And Kenny, going to be tough to pass in those that type of environment. So how aggressive are you going to be here to try to get around him, especially these first 10 laps or so?
It just depends on how he fires off, honestly. I've got better tires. He stayed out, so if he wants to fire off fast, I'll probably just hang back and just stay with him until he wears out. Or if he wants to fire off slow, I'll just try to make the pass. So we'll see.
Well, you've done everything right so far. Everybody else in playoffs, half the playoff field's had trouble here tonight. You've stayed pretty clean. You got both stage win, put you nice in the point situation. Good luck to you, Matt. Maybe, hopefully, we'll be talking to you at the end of this thing.
Yep, thank you. We'll see.
All right, there you go. Seems pretty confident. I would too if I've won both stages, and he's been able to make passes. He's been pretty quick. So, yeah. Really good race for some of these guys. Chris Davis also having a great one. Alex Coffey now is equalized after his small mistake. Jumping that restart's gotten back to the 5th position. Obviously, he has race-winning speed. So the competition up front is still stout. It has been all race long. All right, got the one to go. You heard it there from Matt Cox. Try to be aggressive here if you can. If you can't, gonna just settle in. Obviously, a win would be big, but for him, he's done everything right up to this point. I don't think he needs a win. A good top 5 finish here, he'll be in good shape. Pace car is off though. Kenny Coppola gets a really good jump. That lead position has been strong all race long. Cox though going to drop down to the inside. Does he have enough? Boy, he gets a great run through 1 and 2, and he is clear of Kenny Coppola. Wow, what a move by the 32. Go and caution back out. Caden Norfree sideways on the track and brings out yet another caution. That just gets loose. Cold tires will do that to you. He's got 14 laps, but just got a little bit loose on the outside. And yeah, another admin caution. I don't understand. These are just solo spins, and he throws the caution again. So I'm not really sure what that's all about, honestly. Kenny Coppola says, you know what, I'm not dealing with this. I'm calling it quits. And, yeah, so under caution again. A little solo spin down to the inside wall, and caution was thrown. This one, so we'll pace some more. I don't really have anything to talk about, so fortunately, we're just going to sit here, I guess, and watch as they continue to pace for really no reason. So. Still under caution here at Bristol. We are up to 15 cautions, 13 to be exact, not including the stage breaks. Still 108 laps to go in this race. A lot can go down for these playoff drivers that are trying to make it into the round of 12. Pace car pulls off, getting ready to go green. Matt Cox going to fire off here on the outside line. Now the battle going to be back here. Yeah, it's like Barry Sanders gets tagged there. A couple cars with some damage. No caution. What happened there? Watch this again. Here on the restart, looks like Blaine Wilson to the inside, making it 3 wide, just tags the 88, goes up into the wall. Got it back going though, so we're still under green. Matt Cox now out to a half a second lead over Brandon Bikey. Like I said, Kenny Coppola, after one of those cautions, just kind of exited out. I think that he was just had to go. Maybe it was a code brown. I don't know, but we're all single filed here. It looks like the racing is going to kind of start to clean up just a little bit here as we get this final stage. Going to be watching this 15 machine. He was up front early. He's on equal tires now. You can see he's one of the first to go up to the outside. He knows how important it is to get these positions and get them quickly. Everybody else running the bottom, trying to save those tires, knowing how long you might have to run. But he gets to the outside, makes the pass, gets right back down to the bottom as Blaine Wilson trying to make the same type of move, and now they're almost 3 wide with Blaine Wilson down on the bottom trying to pass Tim Wortman Jr. All these guys, playoff drivers right here. Wortman gets a run, able to hold off the 18 for now. You can see Paul Gallimore kind of sneaking up in there. Blaine Wilson with the freshest tires out of the bunch. Starting to get in the rhythm now. Find out who's got long run speed, who's can save tire, who can make passes. This will be interesting. And at this point, see Chris Davis going to get to the outside of Aaron Matthews. At this point, playoff drivers have kind of made their bed, and this is, where they're set. I mean, Kenny Coppola was 25 points above the cutoff. He quit out. I think he'll be in the round of 12, no problem, but he got Aaron Matthews here. He is up in the 4th position. If he can get up here and win this race, he could possibly just win himself in. He was 11 points under the cutoff coming in, and so many guys have had problems. But unfortunately for him, yeah, I think he's going to be close. Carmichael quit out. He's gone. He actually left the server. He's out. He completely left the Discord. I think Hunter Carmichael might be out of this thing entirely. Barry Sanders has had his trouble. So Aaron Matthews might be able to point himself in, but look at this battle for the lead. Brandon Bikey going to get the run. Can he complete the pass? That's going to be the question. Cox has been too good all night long. That outside line is too dominant. I feel very strongly it's going to be tough for Bikey to make this pass and make it work without the 32 having an issue. He's just been too good all night, in my opinion. And that holds true here. Able to hold off that 27, but I think Aaron Matthews, you know, he needs to, a win would make it a lot easier, but I wonder if he's going to be able to point himself in with all the guys that have had trouble. You know, Gallimore, of course, is right behind him. He was a couple points ahead of him, so it's going to be tight right around the cutoff. It's hard to say completely. Blaine Wilson's been up here battling. You see him there in the 18 on the right side of your screen. He is in a must-win situation. I don't think Blaine Wilson gets out of here, points himself in any stretch of the imagination. If he does, it will be a damn miracle. So he really needs to get up there and try to win this thing, either by strategy but Aaron Matthews here is in a great spot. He was 6 points back from Jeff Taylor, who is now 12 laps down in 20th. So he's definitely got those points. And then Hunter Carmichael falling out. Barry Sanders having his trouble. I want to say that Aaron Matthews sitting here in 6th position is in the round of 12. We'll see how it all plays out officially, but I don't think Aaron Matthews actually needs to win this race. So but if the opportunity presents itself, I think he'll take it. But a nice green flag run, good Lord. We were waiting on it. In this final stage, finally calmed these guys down a little bit, and we have gotten some good green flag run here. Now, can they make it on fuel? That's the question I don't know the answer to, because I don't know what the fuel run is. I think it'll be close. Alice Coffey making moves, trying to look down to the inside of Justin Belmont. These guys have 46 laps. Not all of them green flag racing, but they're definitely not brand new. See, Belmont goes up, kind of blocks the 15 from taking that outside line. You know, and he's basically just daring him, saying, hey, look, if you want to pass me, go down to the bottom. And, you know, just know how difficult that's going to be. Belmont in a very similar situation to Aaron Matthews. He just needs to have a good finish here. He doesn't need to do anything that can ruin this, because he was plenty good coming into this race. He does get to the outside of the 74 here, and that should give him the position. So kind of caught the 74 sleeping, although he does tag the wall. That's going to open the door for Alex Coffey. He might try to take that spot as well. But Belmont just needs to finish right here. If he does, he's in good shape. He was +6 coming into the race. Just no, you know, big damage, no, you know, fighting too hard. End up spun around or in the fence, and he is going to be in good shape. Alex Coffey told me, or Kelly told me to get out of Alex in the car. Don't want me to broadcast a cursing. I mean, at this point, I think the drivers have cursed me tonight. See, Jeffrey Taylor, he is, gosh, I can't think of a worse race, and I guess I don't want to sit here. And I've kind of mentioned that a couple of times, but it is part of the story, because he was just 5 below the cutoff. He was tied with Shane Davis, who's not even here. And was in a great spot to, if he could have a good race, move on, but it's just been a nightmare for the 9. He's been able to make up spots. People have quit out. He's running in 20th, but everybody he's fighting, I think he's going to be the first one out, possibly. it's going to be close. I'm going to have to see how this all settles once the stage points are added in. The final point standings are complete. And if it gets done before we end the broadcast, I'll definitely let everybody know in the audience what happens. But continue watching Alex Coffey here. Really the best battle on the track. Up inside the top 5, seeing if Coffey can get around the 6. Coffey gets to the back bumper. As tell you what, Matt Cox did not have a great lap. Look at the traffic that Matt Cox is having to deal with. I was watching this battle for, oh man, Cox gets really loose trying to take it 3 wide. Bikey was loose there. So leaders having to deal with traffic is after. I mean, we haven't. Oh my goodness, who is that down to the inside? It's Johnny Shade. That's a caution, ain't it? Down to the inside, hit the inside wall. That's pretty much caution. Oh, it comes back out on track. They don't throw the caution. I can't believe it. So these guys dealing with lap traffic, it's difficult. And that is, look at this right here. God, 3 wide back here. Ed Bull Jr. comes down the track. They always do that when they get up to the wall. They always come back down the track. And Coffey trying to clear Belmont. This is what Belmont needs to get out of. He's in good shape. Don't kill it. Coffey looks down to the inside of Schmeets. Gonna get clear. Now Belmont gonna try to follow suit there on the bottom. A scary moment there for the leaders. Now they are clear of that lap traffic. And my goodness. Belmont still dealing with Jordan Schmeets there on the outside. There's Barry Sanders right here. He's already gone a lap down. I don't know if he's got some pretty bad damage or not, but still running in 12th position after that going a lap down. So obviously struggling here. But still in pretty good shape, I think, for Barry. I think he's in solid positioning here as, man, Matt Cox really laying down the hammer here. Paul Gallimore in 10th place, now going to go a lap down. So huge disparity in. Now, I wonder if these guys just tore their tires up, because they are 70 laps on this set of tires for most of these drivers as we close in on 50 laps to go. Matt Cox, though, with a 1 second lead over Brandon Bikey as Gallimore gets in the wall there. As Bikey gets underneath. Does Bikey have anything for the 32? The 32 has just been dominant here tonight. He came out swinging, and he ain't playing around. Well, this is nice. I'm enjoying just sitting here watching good side-by-side racing. Guys trying to run each other down, dealing with lap traffic. This has been nice. This final stage. So great job by everybody kind of settling down. It only took losing 9 drivers for that to happen. I am very, very curious to see how the points are going to work out. I mean, I've talked about it till I'm blue in the face, so I know y'all are probably tired of hearing me talk about points, but I'm going to give you the rundown of how it looks at the moment one more time before we get to the end of this thing. Randy Mullins called it quits earlier in the race, and he's locked in, so he is fine. Jordan Schmeets is currently running 17th, 2 laps down. Oh, goodness, that was. Somebody got to the wall hard. Either Ed Bowles or the 88. Big damage, one of them. And still hitting the wall for Barry Sanders. Barry's just, that car's tore up. He's trying to make it to the finish. Still running at 12th. But he's going to beat the wall down. Maybe make Bristol 4 lanes wide if he continues on. But George Beats locked in with those drivers had wins. Randy Bikey currently runs in 2nd place. He's actually running down Matt Cox a little bit. But he's pointed himself in, most likely. Alex Coffey in a very similar scenario, especially if the race were to end like this. Coffey plenty good to move on to the next round. Kenny Copeland quit out. I'm assuming he came in 25 points above the cutoff. There's only 29 drivers, so he is going to be plenty good to move on to the next round as well. Matt Cox, of course, wins both stages and is currently leading the race. I would say he's pretty clear as well. Hunter Carmichael involved in a couple incidents and now has quit out of the league entirely, it looks like. So he will not be moving on. Tim Workman Jr., who we're watching right here, he is in 9th position. He was 12 above the cut. He is going to be good if he can maintain this position right now. He has done a great job just staying out of trouble, keeping the nose clean, and that 83 comfortably inside the top 10, last car on the lead lap. Chris Davis, he is currently running in that 4th position. He came into this race 9 points above the cutoff. He got some stage points, currently runs as, he might have a battle for the lead here. Going to jump up and deal with this as Cox is now dealing with even more lap traffic, and they're side by side here. This could get a little bit hairy. George Schmeets on the outside. Bikey not letting Cox get away. They're going to slice and dice through this traffic. 88 up into the wall as the 32 goes down to the inside. Matt doing a great job dealing with this, but so did Bikey, and Bikey going to have a little run. He's going to look. The outside line not as strong when there's somebody out there, so here comes Bikey up to the outside. Now the 32's really got to make sure he puts the pressure on the 12. Here comes Bikey off the corner. Will he make it through wide? Cox kind of leaned to the left a little bit to make sure that didn't happen, and they're able to get clear of some of this lap traffic. So the storm came through. They were able to get through without much issue. But Chris Davis, like I said, I think he's in pretty good shape here. But only 9 above the cut coming in. Gallimore runs back in 11th. Hasn't had the greatest of race, but hasn't had the worst either. Well, I think he will move on, and Justin Belmont running in the top 5. Barry Sanders, I think, has done enough that he will likely move on with Hunter Carmichael quitting out. And Shane Davis not being here tonight. Jeff Taylor had a nightmare of a race. And Blaine Wilson in 6th, really not in a position to win this race. So actually looks like he's about to lose a spot to Brandon Fetterplace. But just about 30 laps to go. So Blaine Wilson going to need something to really happen here to get an opportunity. But that's kind of how it's all played out right now. So it looks like Hunter Carmichael, Shane Davis, Jeffrey Taylor, and Blaine Wilson, I think, are going to be the ones that are going to miss the playoffs at the moment. Hunter Carmichael for sure. Lane Wilson, unless he can get up there and get the win. Shane Davis, who wasn't here tonight, and Jeffrey Taylor. It's going to be close. I'm not going to say with 100% certainty that's what it is, but if I just had to do some quick math, 1 + 2 = 3 + 4, it's quick math, you know. We're clicking them off now. Just 30 laps to go. And a battle for the lead. Mikey down to the inside. Tim Wortman Jr. They're lapping 9th place at this point. So the setup those guys are running right here has really good short run speed, but long run speed is they're going to click over 100 laps on this set of tires here soon. Cox not playing around, man. What an incredible drive he's had. Mikey starting from the pits and end up inside the top 3. Hasn't quite gotten the lead just yet, but all it takes is a slip from the 32 and he's going to have it. Let's see how many laps. Cox has led 186 out of 274 so far. Mikey now through the back bumper of the 32. It's gonna take a mistake from the 32 or some lap traffic for this to happen. I think Matt has been too good. I don't see Mikey pulling this off without maybe using the bumper, putting him into the wall as they, you know, I've seen a couple different ways of making this pass, none of which are very nice. Bristol. Yeah, you can't really be nice and, you know, move somebody here. You're driving so deep into the corner. It's really even hard to get somebody's back bumper. But, oh, this might be an opportunity as they catch Barry Sanders. All Gallimore going to go low. But if you're Mikey, you just kind of hope for a little slip up. And you go up, you give that 32 the bumper up on the high line. Put him in the wall. You kind of get stuck to it. You kind of lift off, drive under it. Don't think we'll see that after these drivers. These sparks flying out of both drivers as they get into the wall just a tad. So this is shaped up to a really good lead battle. Mikey gonna look down to the inside. You know, I probably should build up drama, but I hate to tell y'all, but he ain't passing him unless there's a lap traffic causes Cox to check up. At 107 laps on tires, the inside just will not work. So Mikey gonna take a lot for this to happen. But we'll stay here. We're gonna watch it. Lap traffic has been sort of a big factor here tonight. It continues to be as they've lapped up to 9th place. Aaron Matthews, you see right here, in 8th, about to go a lap down. Of course, none of these drivers want to go a lap down, but there's not much you can do. You could park it up on the outside line and let them pass, but they're just running so fast here. I just, you know, of course, fuel was something we were wondering about, so I don't know if anybody is saving fuel, because these guys have really been hauling the mail. But I would imagine with this many laps to go, they're definitely going to be good on fuel. I think their just speed is just so much faster than anybody else. Oh, here it is. That's a great opportunity as Barry Sanders goes up. They were too wide for a moment. Cox gets into the back bumper of him, and Mikey tried to take advantage, but Cox was on top of it quickly. and able to fend off that charge. See these guys driving so slow on the track. It's pretty unbelievable. 115 laps these guys have been on track since coming down pit road last. And you can see both of them, just not much left on these tires. They are wore out. To slow down on the bottom. Ten laps to go here in Bristol. Did Matt Cox get it done? Do they have tires to get it done? I'm telling you, watching them go in the corner, I can see how badly the front tires are on these cars. And man, he is struggling here. Look at the wheel. The wheel is, normally you don't turn it that far, but he has got that thing turned all the way over. 10 o'clock, maybe almost 9:30 there. Mikey is all over, and it's bringing in Alex Coffey. Alex Coffey is catching these guys slowly but surely. You know, Matt just needs to continue doing what he's doing, not get into the wall. I think he will be able to hold these guys off, but it's going to take a lot, man. You can see the right front is just tore up. They make a little bit of contact there. They touch. Lap car in front of them. Barry has been up in that outside line. This may be what happens is Mikey actually gets a little bit loose, gives him the run there. And here comes Alex Coffey, going to make it exciting here at the end of this race. Coffey gets to the outside of Mikey. We've got a three-way battle for the lead. Just 5 laps to go. A lot of lap traffic up here to contend with. Matt Cox just thinking one thing only. Just don't get up out of this groove. Telling all the lap cars, can you please go down to the bottom? I really need this outside line. If that happens, he'll be in good shape. But Mikey going to fall back to third. What does Alex Coffey have left? Did he save anything? You see that? Check it up here. Coffey going to dive down to the inside. He smells blood. Can he clear him? No, he can't. They make contact. Here comes Gallimore. Here comes Mikey. Gallimore not on the same lap in the 15. Is going to complete the pass. Oh, some contact. Little net code. Oh, and there goes both of them around. Does caution come out? It does. So all 3 leaders have gone around, and I wonder if they didn't blow a tire because the way their cars just went around. I don't know if it was just brake bias or what happened, but my goodness. That was wild and crazy. Let's go back and watch that again. You see the 15, and yeah, I mean, Gallimore was there. The 15 comes down. They make contact. Oh, no, the 15 did get hit. I was watching Matt Cox. And so all 3 leaders wreck, and Chris Davis takes over the lead. What are you going to do here? I think you got to pit. I don't know. What are they going to do? Oh, he doesn't take the lead. They give it back to the previous scoring loop. And looks like Alex Coffey will retain the lead. Matt Cox does come down pit road. I don't know why you wouldn't pit. 126 laps on tires, and there's only 8 drivers on the lead lap. I don't know. This is going to get wild. You're going to come out of pit road if you're Matt Cox with, I think you're going to be in probably 6th position or so with fresh tires. These guys 127 laps on their tires. I think Cox has got enough time to get up through there. And we've seen him make this this track 3 lanes wide a couple times. I don't know. I think if you're the 15 or the 27, you're feeling a little bit nervous at this moment. Cox is going to come out. Oh, he's fixing damage. I didn't know he was going to have that much damage. He's got a bunch. 33 seconds now, trying to get some damage fixed. Now Aaron Matthews looks like he's coming down pit road as well. And guess who has got fresh tires? Justin Belmont in front of him does, but Blaine Wilson I mean, this is a development right here. He's going to go all the way up. He's going to be in sixth, which if you don't know, that is third on the outside line with fresh tires. So, oh man, I don't know. This is going to be crazy. I can't believe this, but this is going to be wild. Now, Alex Coffey is in the best spot to win this race. Only one green, white checkered here in Moonshiners. So if a caution comes out, one mistake from Justin Belmont, Blaine Wilson pushing it too hard, any of that, we're going to be, the race is over. So Alex Coffey just needs to get a great restart here and get going, and then let the racing gods decide. But I think if I'm Blaine Wilson, I'm feeling really good here. You see him there on the outside, Justin Belmont as well. Justin doesn't need to win to get in, I don't think. He is solidly in the playoffs. So how aggressive will he be? If you're the 18, you got to send it. This is a Hail Melon, if I've ever seen one, to get into the round of 12. But Alex Coffey, Brandon Bikey out front here. Green flag is out. Bikey spins the tires. What can the 18 do? He's only going to have a lap to do it. Here it goes. Blaine Wilson gets a run. He's going to have to check up a little bit. The 34 gets into the wall. The fresh tires, here they come. Down to the inside. Belmont going to give him a shove. They make contact at the line. Belmont gives him another shove. White flag is out. Can Blaine Wilson do it? They're wrecking behind him. Contact from the 6. Coming off of turn 4, and Blaine Wilson will win his way into the round of 12. Unbelievable. Holy cow. Justin Belmont came up just a little bit short, but what a incredible decision. What a risk there. I don't know. That was the right call, in my opinion. And Blaine Wilson needed to win to get in, and he does it on pit strategy with the green-white checkered after the leader's wreck. And he is going to be racing for a championship, and somebody right at the cutoff line is in trouble. I don't know who that'll be. We'll see if the points are updated. There at the end, Barry Sanders may be the one that's on the chopping block that ruined his race or ruined his chance at the round of 12. We'll see once the points are completely done. But what we do know is Blaine Wilson is moving on. What a incredible finish. Unbelievable. Way to pull this one out of the dirt, guys, after all those cautions. And what an exciting way to finish it off right there. Blaine Wilson doing what he had to do to get it done. And let's talk to these drivers. Good grief. Holy moly. We'll get him here right out of the end. He's probably still celebrating. We're going to pull him up here. Blaine Wilson. This is Eddie in the booth. You got a copy?
Yes, sir, I do.
Holy cow, man. Wow. What a call. What a decision there on that green-white checkered. You had, I mean, this, I said before the green flag dropped there on that green-white checkered, this is your Hail Melon. This is your Hail Mary to get into the round of 12. You couldn't point your way in, and my God, you did it. You got the win, man. You're moving on. Tell me, what does it feel like right now?
It's setting in. I came in here with the mindset of basically must win. People are trying to tell me how I can point my way in, and that just was too complicated. This was much easier. You just win and you get in. I know we might have angered some folks out there tonight. That's all right. It's all part of it. Playoff race, you got to understand it. And seen enough theatrics this season to finally not take it anymore at the end of this race here. So happy to be here.
Man, well, I mean, talk about that decision to take tires. It seemed like a no-brainer. Eight cars on the lead lap. Whenever that caution did come out, 127 laps these guys put on their tires, and you know, was it a no-brainer? Did you think about it at all? Was it pretty much I'm coming in for 4 tires?
No, I didn't think about it at all. I thought everybody was just coming. I literally don't understand why people would stay out. Like I said, theatrics, man, it's all that's going on up there. People staying out 120 lap old tires. They know better. These guys are good. They're just playing games up there. But I'm glad I was able to break through it and talking to you now.
Yeah, man. Well, I mean, super exciting. What a way to finish it off, and we love to see that guys who need to kind of throw something wild and crazy at it to get a win to move on. And boy, you did it and did it, made it exciting there at the end. Somebody's heart is broken that was right at the cutoff line because you pushed them out. And but man, you're moving on to the round of 12. That 18's been fast all season long. You got through the first round now. Now you get into a much harder round, the round of 12. Uh, Talk to me about your feelings. You've been fast all season long. There's no doubt in your speed. What do you need to do to try to get through this next round and battle for a championship?
Luckily, Kansas is my favorite place to race. So I feel good there. Just got to do a lot of laps, a lot of races, understand how the race flow works, and stay smooth. I know Talladega is Talladega. Whatever's going to happen there, I usually wreck out of it. So we're going to get every point we can in the other races. The Roval is, I mean, the Roval sucks, to be honest. I don't think anybody likes it, but we'll go there. We'll do practice and hopefully have that consistency again.
Yeah, for sure. Well, man, congratulations. Go celebrate. I mean, I wouldn't be able to talk right now if I was you, just how exciting that was and how much you needed that right there to happen. And so able to get it done, racing, moving on to the next round. And it's only going to get harder from here. But I have a lot of faith that you got the speed to get all the way to the championship round if you play your cards right. So congratulations. This is great momentum. As always, Blaine, who do you have to thank?
Yeah, everybody on the team that came out to practice and put laps in together and understand everything. The setup was awesome tonight. Just felt great all the time. And big shout out there to the end of that race, Justin Belmont. I mean, he had every opportunity and probably every right to ship me into the corner, and he didn't, and he held it up clean. So I really appreciate that because there's a lot of folks in this field that I know wouldn't do that. And I might be one of them, hell. So I do appreciate it, and we'll keep going again. Thank you for putting on this killer broadcast. We need you back next season. Stay around. Don't go anywhere. You're coming back. I already called it. And hopefully we'll talk to you again in the next couple of races, too.
There you go. Blaine Wilson with the win tonight at Bristol. I mean, exactly what he needed to to get that win. Just unbelievable. Oh my goodness. I'm having to catch my breath after that one. I know he was excited, even though it didn't sound like it was. I think he's just it's that's it hasn't really checked kind of settled in like he said. But man, I tell you what, Justin Belmont, been cheering for this guy. I think it's because I like his car. I think he's got a really cool paint scheme. And we got him up into the booth now. Justin, man, solid race for you. Started 19th. You just needed just a few points above the cutoff. You just needed to have a good race, dodge all the issues. Mission accomplished for the most part, don't you say?
Yeah, really, really good race considering qualifying. I looped it on my second lap. So what from there was survival, and it just kind of worked out that I finished second in that first stage. I don't really know how I got there, but once we got there, we hung out there, and it was a pretty crazy finish too. Not for nothing.
Yeah. Well, we were talking about you possibly not making the playoffs at all at some point, and you've been really kind of right around that cutoff. Yeah, again, tonight, same thing. You had a little buffer there, and you had those stage points that helped you along the way. But then a second place finish at the end. I mean, that's massive for you. So you're moving on to the round of 12. I feel confident about that. What does the six car have to do to not be around the cutoff the next round?
Keep
What
the
what do you
momentum. I
think?
mean, man, I gotta keep the momentum. I kind of slacked practicing all year long. I fell back. We finished. I don't remember where I finished in the standings, but I made the Final Four last year, and this year I just haven't had the time to put in. But once I knew I was gonna be on that playoff bubble. I kind of started putting some more time in, and it's definitely paying off. And now I gotta try to just catapult myself away from the bottom. Keep pushing myself away here. I think this should give me a good amount of points. I finished second, fifth, and second, so pretty good stage points, pretty good overall points. Hopefully, I pushed up a little bit away from that bottom line. I want to start maybe a little ahead this time. That would be
Yeah.
nice.
I don't know. Maybe that's your deal. You sit around the cutoff line and just YOLO
Comeback
yourself
kid,
right
I'll
in.
take
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Maybe you like to live in the dark like Bane or something. I don't know.
I
But
too like to live dangerously.
well, hey man, I don't know. Like I said, for some reason I've been cheering you on. I think it's just because I like your paint scheme a lot. And you seem
Hell
like a
yeah,
nice
man. I
fella.
appreciate
So
it.
yeah, you seem like a nice fella, and so you seem to be pretty clean. And tonight, Blaine kind of shouted you out there at the end. You both had those tires at the end. Obviously, you would have loved to win that race. Blaine, needed to win or he was going to be out, and so you gave him a couple bumps trying to get him up out of the groove. He held steady, and you came home in second there. Were you surprised that those guys stayed out on those old tires like they did?
I really couldn't believe it. There was what was there 7 of us on the lead lap, and 2 or 3 of them were damaged. I couldn't believe they stayed out on those old tires. There was 110 some laps, and yeah, man, I wasn't gonna wreck him for it. I gave him a good little shot 2 or 3 times, but I hit him square, and I wasn't gonna dump him for it. But I tried to push him up. I think I had a better exit than he did, just generally throughout the night. So if I was able to move him up and take a clean look, but I didn't want to hit him in the corner. I didn't want to hit his left rear or something and send him flying because it could have killed both of us. And we
Yeah.
were really the only ones that had a good shot at it there. So I didn't want to ruin it for him. I didn't want to ruin it for both of us. So just take the points and keep moving.
There you go. Well, and they'll when playoff racing, boy, these memories they get real good. And if you make enemies in the playoffs, they can come back and get you. So I think I like the call as well.
Definitely.
Take the points, move on to the next round, and maybe somebody owes you one. But man, congratulations on the second place finish. That was hard fought.
Yeah, thank you, man.
And as always, man, who you have to thank at the end of this thing?
Yeah, shout out Team Watson Racing for the set. Kenny, fortunately, I think he got a little tired of the yellows and quit on us. Then we went on that long green. But shout out Kenny. He put out a really good set, and Lori wraps on the car. They make the car look good. So shout them out as well.
Well, there you have it. Second place finisher and round of 12 driver, Justin Belmont. And we're going to get Brandon Fetterplace in here, your third place finisher. Didn't talk about you much here tonight, Brandon. You're kind of riding around, taking your time, running around the top 10 or so. For a lot of folks had a pretty wild race. You kind of a quiet one there and found yourself in a position after that crazy wreck from the top 3 and found yourself third with old tires, 131 laps. Talk about your race, brother.
Oh, well, I didn't think I'd ever get to talk to you. And it's been a pretty rough season, part-time season I've had so far. But for the most part, I mean, I didn't have high hopes coming into this race because it's Bristol, and there's always a lot of contact. Guys get impatient, and people get wrecked. So, I basically just tried to mind my P's and Q's. I got moved up out of the groove a couple of times. But I was able to keep it from going up into the grandstands. But I'm actually really surprised and extremely happy with a third place here.
Yeah. Well, and there at the end, I mean, y'all had 131 laps on tires, and you could definitely see that the car just would not settle in once you got in. It just wanted to go right up to the wall. What was it like driving 131 lap old tires here at Bristol?
I was not. I did not want that caution to happen. I didn't even know what was happening. I was just thinking to myself, just get to the white. We'll take a top 5. It'll be, I think that's probably my first top 5 I've had this season. So I was completely happy with it. And the caution happened, and I went, no way. And I'm sitting here, and I'm thinking it over in my head. Should I pit? Should I not? Should I pit? Should I not? And I seen the first 4 didn't pit, or first 3 didn't pit, and I'm like, all right, well, let's try it. And everyone else behind me came down pit road, and I thought, well, that was a terrible idea. So it ended up working out. Like you said, the car plowed really bad. That I mean, my tires were done with like 20 to go. I think I was just better off than most of the people I was catching. So I'm just happy. I'm just happy where I'm at.
There you go. Well, a third place finish for you. Great, great run there. I mean, like I said, you're up there, racing, battling it out around that top 10 spot. Seemed like all night, just kind of quiet, staying out of trouble, not being a part of the mess, and now, I mean, you reap the benefits of that here at the end. So, congratulations on third place finish, man. Who do you have to thank?
I'd like to thank Barry and Bad Boy Racing for bringing me on, um, in the season to let me race for them. And, thanks to you all for the broadcast. I can't wait to go back and watch it. And, thanks to everyone who watches, even if you don't even know who I am or any, it don't matter. As long as you watch, that's cool. So I guess I'll see y'all next week.
Right. There you have it. Third place finisher, Brandon Fetter Place. All right. Woo. That last little run to the end definitely sped things up, and we got to a crazy finish, wild and just nutty all around. So really cool. The way that ended, definitely worth the wait, in my opinion. Let's take a look at the results. Chris Davis comes home in fourth. Great finish for him and Aaron Matthews. Just well done, guys. Come in here with a goal and something you need to shoot for as far as points go. And these guys knocked it out of the park. Alex Coffey up there battling for the lead. They make contact, but he's still in really good shape. Should be racing the round of 12, no problem. Brandon Bikey going to come home in 7th. Tim Mormon Jr. in 8th. Matt Cox in 9th. James Middle Miss is your top 10. In 11th, Chris Spear. Barry Sanders in 12th. Nick King in 13th. Nigel Christensen in 14th. You see these lap down counters just really pick up pace as we move on through this. Paul Gallimore in 15th. We're going to see how all that plays out. The points are going to be tight right around the cutoff, especially with Blaine Wilson winning. That really threw a wrench in it. So we're gonna see if points come out. I don't think they will before we end this thing, but we'll see them posted in Discord. It's gonna be close. Ed Bowles Jr. comes home in 16th. Jordan Schmeets locked into the playoffs, comes home in 17th. Johnny Shade 18th. Aiden Norfrey 19th. And yeah, I mean, I've said enough about Jeffrey Taylor. I don't want to keep piling on, but just disappointed for him. This was a tough one. Going to be a tough one to swallow for sure. Kenny Coppola called it quits at some point. Darren Mills in 27, Matt in 22nd, Matt Mackin in 23rd. Hunter Carmichael has some issues, 2 weeks that he would love to get. Yeah, probably not going to see him around anymore, which is a bummer. He was having such a good couple of races. Just didn't end the way he wanted it to. Jared Clark in 25th, Warren Young 26th. Nicholas Atwood in 27th. Randy Mullins locked into the playoffs in 28th. Ryan Huff, 29th. 16 cautions here tonight. 16 lead changes. Not bad for a Bristol race. Round 300 here at Bristol Motor Speedway. We're going to get out of here. Man, hey, look. In the middle of the race, a little dicey there. And these guys know how to pull it out. It's like magicians pulling rabbits out of hats there at the end of these races, making these things excited. So I hope you enjoyed it. I'm Eddie Smith with V Speed, and we will see y'all next week.